in, and it was picked by the A-Team.
It was picked by the A-Team, and we go to the Infernal Shrines, a map that we haven't really seen all too often here today. It is a standard battleground all across the globe still, has always been and will always be, I presume. So, yeah, Alexstrasza, maybe a little bit of focus onto her, although we witnessed how drastically her win rate has decreased over the last few days, which is probably the reason why not that many teams in China rely on her anymore. But if there's one battleground in which I think she's still a solid first pick, first ban material, that would be Infernal Shrines.
Exactly. So now then, we're seeing that Maiev ban, which means that we're sticking with standard. I doubt Genji will be let through. So we will probably see the one ban something else here, maybe a Decade, maybe a Phoenix, maybe something like that.
Maybe the Alarak again.
Maybe Alarak. They won the game, so I doubt they're going to complain too much.
It's the Alexstrasza, so they're sticking with the tools that know can work for the enemy team on Infernal Shrines. And the reason, of course, for those of you who are wondering and new to the game, new to HGC China maybe, the reason why Alexstrasza is so good is her Dragon Queen form. You can basically enforce a guaranteed Punisher if you use it wisely. And Punishers can then help you to snowball. Very dangerous.
So, with Decade already on the board, do the A-Team go back into that Alarak again? Is that the direction they wish to go? Once again, they're not on a... They don't have Decade Kane, so I doubt we'll be seeing the Zul Jin. That's an Asmodan. Cool. We saw an Asmodan yesterday, and it got wrecked.
It also went for what we quoted the most unreliable build with Greed, I think it was. The green basketball.
Yes, that is the one. I personally am a bigger fan of Gluttony.
Same.
In both real life and in the game.
Yeah, Gluttony, even Greed can work. Sorry, Greed was the right one. My mistake, it was Wrath. So, Wrath, the auto-attack-centric one, which we thought was kind of weird, especially since the enemy team, I think they had Johanna in there as well, or Cassia, one of the blinding sources anyways.
Yeah, it was one-sided. So then, with Reyna and Garrosh on the board for the one, we're sticking very standard for them, whereas the A-Team begin to go a little bit off the rails.
So Asmodan is an interesting one. I actually talked very briefly about him last draft, in which I thought, you know, Asmodan can be pretty good against Nazeebo because you apply so much lane pressure that allows your team to really, you know, capitalize on that early game weakness of Nazeebo. However, as a first pick, I think it's very risky to pick Asmodan because he can, too, be played around quite nicely. What is Asmodan's weakness in the early game? Well, it's team fighting because he doesn't really add that much yet. So if you just choose a strong team fighting composition with Garrosh initiated, for example, you can definitely dominate, and Cassia gets banned away from the A-Team.
With the Leoric banned in exchange, what will the A-Team bring out as their solo laner? As they get the first priority. If they remove the Leoric, that brings up the likelihood of course, a Yrel. Or something along those lines. Something more tanky as their solo laner.
They need to be careful, though. If they neglect damage all too much on their front line, they might run into that risk of not being able to compete in team fights at all. So maybe we're going to see that Asmodan in a dedicated solo lane and then go for another DPS?
I mean, I'm thinking maybe... I mean, possibly. What I'm thinking is maybe this Leoric, since they just didn't pick a solo laner, it means that they just don't expect their solo laner to be stolen. Now Malthael's on the board. That is probably the safest choice. If you ban out Leoric, it clearly shows you want to pick percentage damage, unless this is an incredible mind game. It was mind games! As we see that Illidan coming in for the A-Team.
Oh man, look at Huhua's facial expression there. He was not amused that Bruiser's Illidan was let through, and that they got bamboozled by the Asmodan first pick, because everyone was expecting a tanky, either a tanky frontliner who was in the soul lane, or another ranged DPS, right? So they could actually fight a little better. But it is the Illidan. And how many counters do we have? How many safe Illidan counters do we have on the side of the one? Not really that many.
Yeah, there's Garrosh Taunt, which is always welcome.
That's good, fine. Yeah.
Otherwise, though, it's a little bit more difficult. It's cheeky. It's a nice little... It was a solid draft, but once again, even with the Illidan, Illidan cannot carry alone. There is not a huge amount of heavy Illidan support here. it's gonna be all about how much damage Asmo can do, because Illidan is basically the setup for Asmodan here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree. Something that I noticed, by the way, whenever looking at the members of TheOne in the players booth, there's rarely anyone ever talking. Did you notice that as well?
A little bit. They seem to be a little bit quieter indeed. So, well, we'll have to see if. I mean, we've seen them chat at LAN a little bit. They're not as loud as like SPT.
Yeah. Oh,
and
SPT
things
can
like
get
that.
really loud. Yes.
Yeah, BTG could also be very talkative. That's a fun one. Well then, let's see. As we are heading into game number 2, can the A-Team bring it back? Give themselves an extra point or 2 with this interesting Asmodan combo? Or will the One continue to wreck through this series? Once again, they're already secure in second seed. They are Hugo, Keshi, Meng, ZJZ, and Hoho. They are the One.
Facing them with a very interesting composition is the A-Team, represented by LK, Olele, Bruiser, Stugos, and Eatskick. This time, Tetcher, we see your favorite sin.
Yay.
It is Gluttony.
That is good, because it is the most consistent. And I like consistency. I like it.
Oh, I thought you meant Gluttony is good in real life.
I mean...
Sometimes.
Can you have gluttony with moderation? Is that a thing?
Then it wouldn't be Gluttony anymore. Then it would be a regular diet.
Remember, kids, be gluttonous in moderation.
You can actually say that with almost any sin, right? Be greedy in moderation.
Yeah, exactly. But words to live your life by. You can do anything in moderation. Looks at all the killing sins as we see Hanzo get taken out.
All right, Hanzo definitely in the wrong spot here. Eatskook, the next one to follow, question mark. No, he got saved by Whitney this time around, but you know, this first blood, it doesn't really mean a whole lot, but it's definitely setting a strong statement here that the One is willing to use their weapons. They can actually find Johanna here before she can even pop the Iron Skin. Sticky Malthael is going to keep her in check here. Rainer, oh, he got a Meng with that penetrating round and that last final pepper shot, blowing Johanna out of her socks. Beautiful.
Good start. Very good start by the One with the double kill within the first minute. And as such, they are beginning to take Mertcamp straight away as their lanes are so pushed up. There's no XP to even get. Although Asmo will gain some stacks to Gluttony there. This is all about the late game.
All right. Let's see what the One is able to do here. They're actually the ones in the driver's seat right now. They're turning on the heat. They're not impressed up to this point by that Illidan, by the Asmodan. Asmodan is indeed acting as a soul laner, as we predicted. So, he's not the strongest soul lane in terms of, bullying enemies away, but he's certainly good in terms of wave clear and, holding the lane with his massive body, strong health pool as well, and those demons that can soak up all the attention from mercenaries and minions alike.
Stugos comes down to join LK for a bit to give him a little bit of clemency. And as such, Asmo's rotating to mid lane. More stacks looking to be acquired here, but that does mean no one is bot lane, and Decker's just pushing up the lane.
I mean, it's very unusual for Decker to do this. He's probably very happy that he gets to be the pusher for once as well. Look at Huho just pushing Johanna back where she belongs, completely shutting down her into her rotation as well, and causing Eatskook to arrive there so much more slowly.
They lost a lot of minions, and as such, a lot of XP, and a lot of stacks down there in that bot lane before they were able to really rotate down and get there. So, a little bit troubling for the A-Team in this early stage already. Not a level behind, not even half a level behind, but the fact that their map control has been so heavily in favor of the One already, they haven't really been able to do much and haven't actually been able to stack Asmodan that quickly.
Some cute unintentional interaction there between Malthael and Asmodan, and probably one of the reasons why I think Malthael was picked into the Asmodan is the fact that it's basically causing additional targets for Malthael to be drained the souls on, right? So the more targets he has, the more healing he can do to himself, which is oftentimes the reason why Malthael loves to fight in minion waves. And with those demons summoned by by Asmodan, especially maybe if he goes for the Army of Hell for the demonic invasion at level 10, I think that might be some unintentional extra bonus healing to Malthael. So in my opinion, it needs to be Tide of Sin. What do you think of that?
For Asmodan,
level 10s.
sorry?
Yeah, level 10s of Asmodan. Because I just mentioned that the
Tide of Sid burst is exactly what they need. Once again, they're trying to do the Illidan setup, Hanzo, Asmodan, Illidan Hanzo setup, Asmodan finish. That's the plan. So yeah, Tide of Sin almost certainly, as such level 7, will almost certainly beat Bombardment again as well, full CC reduction. So yeah, I agree with you. Tide of Sin, gotta get that damage in.
Yeah, and you want to prevent that healing on a Malthael, of course, as much as you can. The double demons at level 4, by the way, were picked for Asmodan, the Army of Hell. So that means more demons will arrive. And the demons are strong, don't get me wrong. Like, you shouldn't be scared to cast demons just because Malthael can leech from them, right? They're still very powerful, they can still dismount, they can still wave clear and keep minions at bay. So still a useful ability.
The Iron Skin working very effectively. Oh, right on the edge of it for that Groundbreaker as well. So Yeetskook very lucky there. He's moved and then runs straight back in. Okay, he might actually die here as he starts getting focused down. Groundbreakers and the Punisher. And he is actually maybe going to live. Iron Skin back off cooldown. Thank God for that level 1 talent.
All right, by the way, we see the Art of Chaos coming in from Asmodan. He goes for the red basketball talent. And now basically Asmodan requires to hit 2 or more enemy heroes with 1 Globe of Annihilation, and successfully doing that will restore mana and also grant additional stacks on Annihilation.
As Yeetskook continues to assist, 114 currently on the Globe of Annihilation. For Gluttony, after he gets 200 Annihilation, each enemy hit by the Globe reduces the cooldown by 0.25 seconds, and that is doubled against heroes. Great for the actual shrines, because you can chuck them on, and if you get all the heroes in it, then it's just back up, so that's
LK, that gank did certainly turn quite unpleasant for you and backfired quite heavily, because I quite frankly think they didn't expect the one to be there already. They wanted to gank Malthael with, the help of Asmodan and Illidan, but little did they know that, oh my goodness, there goes Hanzo again. Keshi actually mind gaming and juking Bruiser. He's mounting up immediately. Now he needs to buy time for his shields to regenerate. Reinforcements already trickling in for the A-team. Okay, so Keshi's dead. Tries to go for the tower anyways. Valiant effort.
He wanted to die just so he could his death wouldn't be too staggered for the next objective. So sensible move there. He had a ridiculously low chance of living. I wouldn't mind to see him try, but I am also very much okay with him doing that escape strategy there. Also, no bombardment. I was very wrong. Art of Chaos coming in here for Asmodan. If he hits 2 or more heroes with his Globe of Annihilation, he gets mana and 4 Annihilation.
Exactly. So you need to hit as many enemy heroes as possible with that Art of Chaos. Interesting talent choice here for sure. I'm super interested in seeing which level 10 they are going to go for here. Meng in trouble, gets chased down and slowed by Stugos and Bruiser. Survives for now, though. Can't kill the Jimmy just like that.
Level 10 now online for the A-team. How are they going to be able to engage into this? They're only a level behind, remember. This is not the worst situation to try and make a play into. Whitemane also holding. She is going to go for the Aegis. Okay, no Divine Reckoning. And there's the Shield Dragon Arrow. Goodbye, Phoenix.
And that is how you blow up the squishiest of targets available for the one, which is arguably Phoenix, sometimes Decker Kane, depending on how out of positions they were. And Phoenix there was way too close. He got locked down by the Johanna and followed up with a nice Tide of Sin basketball dunk.
Nicely done indeed. And as such, Bruiser starts doing mercenaries for his team. Going to try and gain some value over there, while Asmo heads back into lane while they wait for the objective to also get more experience and more stacks.
And this is now the time for the A-team to make a play. They haven't really taken any, critical damage in terms of structures. They've only lost that one fort in the top lane. That's all, fair and square. If they stabilize right now, that might be really good for them. Asmodan is hitting, or starting to hit like a truck right now. Who tries to find the right target, and Olele is exactly that target. The last rites was commenced as well. Gets that cooldown reduction stack, but Johanna survives. How long, though?
Oh, the armor. Aegis armor. Absolutely.
Keshi.
Johanna there. But Keshi getting engaged on Bruiser has gone so deep. Good Wrecking Ball, and Bruiser goes down. But Keshi is barely surviving. Yeetskook gives his life, and that was a big old overcommitment for just a Phoenix. That's going to be a full 5-man team, 4-man team wipe. Oh, hang on. Nailed.
Looked cool.
It looked very cool.
Hanzo notching an arrow there and trying to test his marksman skills. But yeah, I mean, there was a reason why I have the opinion, or why. Oh, that was a good concession there. Really, really nice. Well done. That was a good cleanse on Hanzo. Otherwise, he would have fallen victim to Garrosh. But there's a reason why I labeled CJZ as the best support in China, or let's say one of the best supports in China, because he just hits those potion. Every single one was hitting onto Phoenix, buying an absurd amount of time for him to actually survive and allowing his teammates to turn around the fight.
Here comes the Asmo Slam. Big damage this time as they begin to move forward, and they're still fighting over this. 30-6 right now in favor of the one, but Bruiser's going ham for this. Lord NATO, here comes the Aegis, and they might want to turn this round. 31-12. The A-Team putting up a fight. A talent down, they pick up Hugo.
They pick up Hugo. He dropped that last rites in his dying breaths, but here comes the healing. It is now online thanks to the healing fountain. Phoenix in trouble, gets a kill and escapes to safety.
Nicely done. A good trade-off there. Stugos dropping low, killed off by Meng, who was delivered by the into the fray, and he gets another 2. Olele, the only survivor, he leaves on the run as the one pick up the Punisher.
You know, sometimes you just gotta throw the Jimmy in there so he can chase down the targets and execute him with impunity. So that was really well done by the one. They took an early casualty. Hugo fell so early, but they were not scared. They realized, you know what, we're going to take the healing fountain, come back rejuvenated, and reinitiated with our talent lead.
And with that, the push continues into the mid lane. The fort taken out and the keep already under pressure. This is not looking good for the A-Team as the one look to move in and do damage to this front keep wall, which will set them up for later.
All right, we gotta find a name for that Rainer toss combo. I vote for the Pepper Shaker.
Oh, hang on. Bruiser moves in looking for Kieshi.
Meng is trying to dish out the damage. Bruiser evading up to this point. The Aegis is used, but getting zoned completely by that Lornado.
Couple seconds too late, or at least a second too early, I guess, with the Metamorphosis, so unable to dodge those last rites with it. They do still kill off Rainer, though, so they are able to get it.
Good stuff here. Without Jimmy, I think most of the damage is now gone for the one. Hold that thought. Phoenix is trying to prove me wrong here. That's a lot of damage actually coming in from the salvo. It keeps the A-Team at bay. So far, Whiteman has been doing a wonderful job keeping everybody alive, though.
Yep, able to survive, so all is good there. And for a Jimmy name, what's Jimmy's outlaw group called again?
The Raiders?
Raiders?
Yep.
Well, I'm just gonna call it the Rainer Rain.
It's a good one.
Or just the drop shock trooper. There we go. They move on to Hugo. Fly Bruiser, absolutely wrecked.
I love how Hugo is just farming stacks. It's not actually getting any damage done the last rise. He's just popping it off on that target that is about to die anyway, so he can get as many stacks, he can get the cooldown reduction, and he can use it more frequently in future team fights. Really cool to see that. Pretty funny interaction there. But man, Hugo just finds those targets out of position, and especially Illidan. Sometimes, you know, one cheeky move, one cheeky swift strike is enough. He finds another one. There goes the kill. Not even the Aegis can save him.
He just didn't even land on him. It was a little off to the side. Stugos dropping low with the anti-heal. Good interruption on the salvo. That might actually save Stugos here as Olele very nearly picks up the kill, but goes down. LK, though, gets the double.
Yep, the dunk is landed here onto 2 targets. Beautiful damage coming in from old man Asmo. But yeah, even the double kill won't change the result here. They're losing another structure. These team fights are starting to snowball out of control for the A-Team here. The one is just looking so darn solid in every single fight, especially Hugo, man. You can tell that he likes his Garrosh. He feels really comfortable in it.
The A-Team have been having some pretty serious issues with this Illidan. They keep picking it up, but it's not gone too well for them this season, and as such, currently, they are once again on the back foot, but it keeps coming. They keep picking it.
There's a reason why certain heroes or certain strategies should remain secret pocket strategies, right? The moment you make a pocket strategy your mainstream, your go-to, it becomes predictable, it becomes counterable, and I think that's what happens. That's what's happening to Bruiser, like time and time again now.
This half of the year, currently, Bruiser is 3-7 on this Illidan.
Yeah.
He's not having the best time.
And I think the most victories still hail from last phase's playoffs. So
Yes, pretty much. So, not ideal for them. Yeet's good, knocked up. This looks familiar, but he will survive. We see Annihilation done, so that's going to be Asmo doing some pretty good damage.
yeah, that is exactly what Asmo wants to see. Uses Friend of Foe here. Illidan, that is, to escape to safety with that mini dash. He escapes Gorehal and Garrosh for now.
So we have percentage damage
Illidan is
on the
deep in enemy
slams,
territory.
4%. Slam catches the edge, Dragon Arrow, and Phoenix is deleted again. Taunt, though, is going to absolutely destroy Illidan. So their frontliner, like one of their main two frontliners, is gone. The second one is currently in not the best position. Hanzo will be able to escape. So will Johanna, actually. LK backing up, waiting for his opportunity to land another slam.
Man, Tetra, that Osmodan damage is starting to get real in here. He's hitting like a train at the moment. And, you know, we mentioned how good of a support Decker Kane is. But what does he struggle against? Consistent AoE damage.
However, Asmo not landing 100% of these slams, and as such, lower cooldowns. Good one here. Once again, he does 4% of enemy heroes' damage now with that total annihilation at 6, but that's not enough to get through He.
Not enough for now. The percentage damage is much appreciated. The Pepper Shaker is coming in there as well. Meng trying to get another kill. He gets 1. He gets 2, potentially. Asmo trapped in the Lornado.
And LK taken out here as Reyna moves forward, looking for more as they are just going to try and get the first keep of the game. Illidan is cleaning up mid lane, so as such, it won't be a double keep play, but it was close.
Yeah, it's still the Punisher reinforcing that push, and I think that might very well just be the GG here. I don't think the A-team is going to be back. What? Hold that thought. Actually, the Rainer is attacking the fountain here. The keep still takes a little longer. Phoenix has arrived, though. That's additional DPS there on the core. Let's see how well the A-team can actually intercept that punish. You should drag it over to the middle, but by doing so, you'll probably expose yourselves as well and get a kill here. Bruiser getting a beautiful distraction maneuver, gets a massive metamorphosis in there as well.
Salvo comes out and Illidan is down. Asmodan is back soon though, so Keshi is living on borrowed time at this point. Asmo Slam doesn't land and Keshi will... No, Indomitable Spirit.
Finally.
Clutch save. See ya, Asmo. Full team wipe and the one take the convincing 2-0.
Yeah, finally Keshi had access to that Indomitable Spirit. He ended up getting popped so many times by Illidan and Asmodan, but finally he was able to withstand all that damage. And the A-team unfortunately got dismantled this time around. The one is just too big of a hurdle for them to jump over.